So a lot of you are thinking right now, how on earth has this kid gone from looking like that to this in a matter of 9 weeks? And I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. So stick around. And before anyone says that's not 9.5 weeks, yes it is. First photo was 14th of April and second photo was 23rd of June, so Tuesday just been. It's now Saturday as I'm filming this. But the transformation itself was 9.5 weeks, just over 2 months. It was like 3 weeks into quarantine till this week, so yes. Obviously I probably wasn't that bad as it looks in the photos and stuff, but it was bad. I took the bulk too far and had to hit myself with the truth bomb and the tough pill to swallow of, yeah, goddamn, I need to lose some fat. So that is what I did. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any cheat codes. There's no magic pill to losing fat, but I do have some tips and tricks that I think are very helpful. But before I get into those tips and tricks, I'm just basically going to tell you everything I did, how I went about it, what I did, what I ate. Well, I don't know if I'm going to go into detail of what I ate, but like calories and stuff like that, I will. I can save the diet for another video. But yeah, I'm just going to go over everything basically I've done for the last 9.5 weeks to get where I am now. So, first things first, as you've heard time and time again, to lose weight or fat or whatever, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So if you're wondering what that means, which you shouldn't be, you should have heard that a lot. It is basically you have to eat less or burn more than you're putting into your body. And that is really all there is to losing weight. There's a lot of ways to manipulate that with cardio and diet, but that's basically all there is. So for me, I did both. I dropped calories and I did cardio to put me in the deficit. To start off with, before the whole cut thing went down, I think I was eating probably around 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, and they were not good calories. That was like pizza and burgers and shit, so not ideal. But I would have guessed, like I'm a pretty active person, so I would have guessed that my maintenance would have been around the like 4,000 to 3,500 mark. So the first week I initially just dropped my calories to 3,000 straight off the bat. Probably wasn't a great idea. I think I lost like a bulk amount of weight that first week, like 2 kilos or something. So if I could go back, I probably wouldn't drop so drastically to start off with, but that is how I did it. And then basically from there, it was a week by week basis. I would either add 10 minutes of cardio to get into a further deficit or drop 100 calories more. That lasted for the first like 2 weeks, and then after that, I decided I was going to take a slower approach, but a safer one in terms of not losing so much muscle. And I basically was working off the scale or in the mirror, both sort of thing, working in tandem. So I would basically only drop my calories once I had stopped losing weight or once I had stalled progress in the mirror and I thought, shit, I need to move again. And so I took it vice versa week by week for like the first 5 weeks. I'd go from 10 minutes of cardio increased, and then next week I'd drop 100 calories, and then the week after that I'd do 10 minutes more cardio, and then the week after that another 100 calories. So it went like that for about 4 weeks. So after the 4 weeks, I was down to about 2,800 calories, and I was doing 20 minutes of walking a day, which really wasn't that bad because it was quarantine, so I was doing nothing anyway. But then halfway through, the whole quarantine thing sort of loosened off a bit, and I could start working again. So I moved back to the city because I moved home to my parents' house for the quarantine. And then I moved back here, and because my job's quite active, I started doing like, probably I'd say on average 10 to 15,000 steps a day, which I'm not sure how much cardio that equates to, but it's a fair bit. And when I first moved back here, I had to up my calories because the cardio had increased so much and I was losing way too much weight too quickly. So my calories bumped back up to like 2,900, and then once that stalled, I did the same thing, except I didn't increase my cardio because I was doing like 15,000 steps a day, which was already a lot and my legs were feeling it. So I think it was like 3 weeks before I had to drop calories again because I was doing a lot of steps. So that took me to like week 8, and then by then I had to drop back to about 2,700 calories, and then week 8 to week 9 was 2,700, and then as of today, I've dropped them down to 2,650 because my weight was being hell weird. It was fluctuating. It went from like 89.3 kilos, and then I woke up the next day. I think it was because of creatine, but I woke up the next day, I was like 90.3 after eating less. So that was weird, still trying to figure that out, but that is basically the gist of what went down. There was nothing special to it. It was literally just week by week, dropping calories or increasing cardio. So, long story short, and I'll stop rambling, if you're wanting to do the same thing I've done, you basically have to either eat less or do more. for a prolonged period of time, and the fat will burn off. Now, optimally, you want to take it slow. In my case, I took it like extremely slow and basically just went off my body, and when my body had adapted, I'd strip it away again. And because I've done that, I've lost next to no strength. The only thing I've really struggled with is squats, but I think that's more to do with the fact that I'm doing 15k steps a day, which is just like fatiguing my legs, and not to do with the actual fact that I've lost weight. I would guess that I've put on muscle mass as I've lost the fat, which is a big plus. So if you don't have a deadline, my highest recommendation is to take it slow and let your body do the talking. So what I mean by that is don't cut calories until you actually need to. So watch your weight on the scale, and then once it stops going down, then add in more cardio, or then take away more food. Now, refeed days, another little confusing aspect to throw in there. I'm having one today and I'm eating my Cocoa Pops. So I'm going to eat these, and then I'm going to explain why or how it's useful. Okay, so refeed days, meals, whatever you want to call them. Basically, it is just a time or a day or a meal that you increase. Well, it's meant to be carbs. If it's a refeed, it's an increase in carbs to refill your glycogen stores. Now, the reasoning for this is obviously over a period of time for like a week or two where you've been depleting yourself in a calorie deficit, your glycogen stores are going to become empty, well, not empty, but they're going to be really depleted. So a refeed day is basically just a meal or a day, yeah, where you increase carbs and refill those glycogen stores. Now, this can help with pumps and just overall feeling better.
Work on it, or do you suggest the 3K?
I use the 1K and it's fine. So.
Alright, 1K is fine. Alright,
yep.
Sweet. And
what you want to do anyway, so you don't need it right now.
Yeah. Well, for photos, you run 11 to 22.
No, I use both, but you can use either.
Oh, alright, thanks, bro.
Easy.
Alright, see ya.
See, dude. Interrupted by King O'Reilly for a sec there. Yeah, so basically it's just to refill your glycogen stores, make you feel a bit better. Obviously you'll get better pumps, which is why I'm having mine today, because it's a big chest day or push day. So obviously I want to be looking my best today, because is there anything better than a chest pump? No. But it's also just like peace of mind. So on a day like today where I ate my Cocoa Pops, it's just nice to, obviously you're still counting them and making sure you're not going too overboard, because you can do that. But you know, it's just a peace of mind type thing where you're eating something that isn't the same boring old diet, which mine isn't anyway. It's a pretty sustainable diet, but it's just nice having Cocoa Pops, to be honest. A lot of people, you could like, honestly, I could just go get a burger from KFC or something and, you know, be a bit dirtier that way. But for my goals, it's probably not lining up perfectly. So I'd rather just have a cereal of some sort. And my cravings aren't that bad anyway, but if they were, you could definitely go have something else other than Cocoa Pops. Now, there's other ways to do refeed meals / days. You could do them over like multiple days and increase carbs and calories over like a period of a couple of days. And it supposedly increases like the hormone that makes you, I don't know, there's just some shit that people say it can help like burn fat quicker and lose weight quicker, but I don't know how true that is, so I'm just stick to the refeed meal because it makes me feel a bit better, gives me a better pump and ease of mind. So enough about refeed meals. I am going to get into tips and tricks I had for the whole diet next. But before that, I have my push day and I'm going to take you through it. So enjoy.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are, mysterious. That's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow, mysterious. That's the part
So just got home, finished the push workout, was sick. Got a pretty good pump from all the carbs I had today, but it's like middle of winter here in Australia and they had the aircon on. So don't know what the go is there, killed the pump a little bit, but wasn't bad. Anyway, I'm about to get in some tips and tricks for the diet. As promised. Got a few written down in the phone, so... Alright, so tips and tricks. First one being, obviously, I think I said it earlier, but take your time. As previously mentioned, work with your body. So don't go changing calories or doing too much cardio too quick, because your body does adapt, and the quicker it adapts, the harder it is for you to burn the fat, because there's only so far you can go. If you get to 1500 calories in like 6 weeks, you can't go any further because you'll just like die. And if you're doing an hour of cardio every day after like 5 weeks, who the hell can be bothered doing more than that? Obviously, if you can, and you want it to be over quickly, you can do that too. But in terms of the most optimal way to do it, take your time, work with your body, and basically do it as slow as possible. And you'll keep most of your muscle and basically all your strength. Tip number 2 would be intermittent fasting. Now, I don't really do this to a huge extent. On the weekend I do. I sort of keep my breakfast and wait till like 11 o'clock. But if my calories are getting lower, I might even push that back to like 1 or 2 p.m. On a work day, that's pretty hard, because if I wake up at 6 and then walk 15k steps and then don't finish work till like 12, 1 o'clock, I'm going to be a hungry boy by the time that comes around. So on work days, I eat breakfast and then basically fast till lunchtime and then go throughout my day as normal. But intermittent fasting is a really good way to hold your calories back in the day so you can go to bed on a fuller stomach, and just saving your calories for later at night and closer towards your gym session, depending on when you train and stuff like that. So that can work out well. Tip number 3 would be sustainable meals. So obviously, if you can handle it and stomach it, you can go to chicken, rice and broccoli. I cannot do that. I've got a really fussy palate. So not a fussy palate, just like I can't be eating bland meals like that all the time. It just, honestly, it makes me want to spew like real bad. So for things like me, I was just changing out chicken for salmon, and I use ham sometimes, and instead of rice, I'll have like potato. And yeah, just changing up. It's pretty much like the same meals, they're just not so bland. Using hot sauce, you can find sauces that are hell low calorie and fit them in. And then I also have like yummy snacks, and I'm a bit higher in fat in the diet. So I have like sandwiches with peanut butter and stuff like that, just to, put a little something exciting in my day. Because if I was having like chicken and rice 3 times a day, dude, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, to be honest. So yeah, you want to make sure, obviously, you're getting all your micronutrients in that in. Like, that's a really important part, is you want to be healthy at the same time. So getting your vitamins and stuff in, and if you have to, taking a multivitamin to help. But yeah, obviously get your macros in, and then sustainable meals, and have like a snack throughout the day. Try to fit it in, because at the end of the day, the best diet is a diet you can stick to. And if you're eating chicken, rice and broccoli, for me personally, I would not be sticking to it. So sustainable diet. Last tip, just a cheeky one, water. Drink plenty of water. So like I drink 3 to 4 litres a day. Obviously, staying hydrated is a good thing, but it also is really good for filling up your belly. So sometimes when you're feeling hungry as on a diet, you're really just thirsty. Like, you're probably dehydrated, and sculling like half a litre to a litre of water will fill you up and you won't feel so hungry anymore. So drinking water is a big key, and it honestly has got me through. I don't have a huge appetite anyway, so it's been pretty good and like easy going for me, but water is definitely going to help me as I keep pushing on. So that's another big tip. Last tip comes to do with bulking, so you don't have to do what I did. Don't bulk too hard. Like, bulking's great, and like honestly, I probably wouldn't be looking how I am today if it wasn't for the bulk I went on, which was like 2 years long. But losing all the fat now and realizing how much strength and like how much better I look without it made me realize that it was really just pointless, and it was me being lazy with my diet. So I always thought, I do have a good metabolism, and I was always lean as a kid. So I just I got away with eating whatever I wanted for a bit. And then when I started like not doing anything during quarantine, and I was just like eating pizza and burgers, thinking, oh yeah, I'm bulking, it's all good, dude, I'm bulking. You know how that goes. There's a lot of people like that. I was a retard. Basically, I was retarded. It's not great eating all that shit. It's really not good for your belly. And obviously, now that I'm feeling how I feel now, I realise that. At the time I didn't, because I'd been doing it for so long. You don't realise the taxing amount of shit it does to your body. and you honestly feel better for it. And then when the cutting phase comes around, you're not as fat, you don't have to diet as long, and it's just an all-round better experience. So don't get fat on your bulk. If you take anything from this video, it is do not get too fat on your bulk. Big mistake. Not to mention you just look good when you're lean. So, but yeah, there are a few tips. Hopefully they help. If you're going into a cutting phase or coming out of a bulking phase or going into a bulking phase, hopefully you can take a few of them and utilize them. I know if I had known half of this shit before I started, I probably would have been a lot better off. And that basically wraps it up. I mean, there's obviously other things, but I'm sure you've heard them all before. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully if any of you are planning on doing a cut, that it goes well. I'm sure if you use some of these tips, it will. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.